Welcome to Center Heist Productions. It is November 12th, just turning the 12th. This is being taped right after the the game tonight, where the Bruins visited the Habs. First, please hit the likes and subscribe down in your right-hand corner. I would muchly appreciate your support. Try to grow the channel. Thank you for those who have. Okay, so we're going to get right to it. It is the review of tonight's game, and what a good hockey game it was. A good, solid game the Habs played against the Bruins. Quite impressive. Very, very, very close game. Closely played. Okay, we're going to get right to the stats for you first. And the Habs ended up winning it 3-2 in overtime. And it was 28 shots to 27 for the Bruins. Okay, the Bruins scored in the first period. There was no goal scored in the second. Habs scored twice in the third. Bruins scored once in the third, and then the Habs scored overtime to make it 3-2. Montembeault was in the net versus Swayman. This was an excellent game, and Caden Gooley scored the winner in overtime. And Gallagher and Suzuki had scored. So here we go. First star of the game was definitely well deserved by, like the two goals that one of them, not much he could do. The first one I thought was kind of weak, but played a very good game, Montembeault. And definitely well deserving of the first star. Brad Marchand, who, Montembeault stopped 26 shots. So second star was Brad Marchand, who always seems to show up against the Habs. He had a golden assist, but was a -1. And the third star, Caden Gooley, goal and assist, +2. And he had 21 minutes and 12 seconds, quite a bit of ice time there. So the first period goal was scored by Pavel Zacha, assisted by Charlie McAvoy and Brad Marchand. No scoring in the second period. And that goal by Zacha was scored 36 seconds. It was quite a quick goal that came right out at the Habs. It's just like that. And then the Habs seemed to settle down, and we got a better game going. Third period starts 24 seconds on the power play. What was left there? Yeah, 24 seconds. Nick Suzuki wires a shot, just a wrist shot from Mike Matheson, but a nice wrist shot, and Cole Caulfield on the power play. So that's really good too, because the power play, it's another. We'll take them, we're getting the odd power play goals, and this is a positive. So they're starting this, and this was a different look from their early power plays before this one, because you could tell they were trying to get it to Caulfield a little more, and even in previous games. But this was well done. I don't think Swayman expected a wrist shot from the point, and that's where Suzuki took the shot from the point. Wrist shots from that far out, quite extravagant. So that was then 51 at the 51, which was seconds later, 20-some-odd seconds later. Brendan Gallagher scores a beauty, nice shot from the point again. Gooley with that shot, that's why I say that shot is so important. And Gooley's been the guy of late. That Jack guy has that luxury too, but he hasn't done it of late. Where Gooley's been on the money, and Gallagher reaped the benefits of getting the rebound there, and just dove for it and swept it. And it was a very nice goal by Galley. Just the effort. And that's not like, even though we know Gallagher is not the old Gallagher, he's still got the heart. You got to give him that, because that stretch out to get that around Swayman was quite well done. That was not every player would have done that. So good goal at the 51 seconds. And that was assisted by Gooley and Jake Evans. Then, of course, we get a dumb penalty after we had killed a two-man power play. And then to get another penalty, Brad Marchand, of course, would have to score, assisted by David Pasternak. and Charlie McAvoy. No shocker there on the power play, 12:58 of the third. No more scoring was in the third, but very quickly into the overtime. 2:13 was the time in overtime. Caden Gooley scores an unassisted goal, and it was very nice. It was Josh Anderson carrying it in, and very nice play in front of the net there. But Gooley just was the man coming up from behind, coming at the third man in, and as it came out, the rebound came out, it came right to Gooley, and he put it over top of him. Just a very nice goal. A good way to get how deserving again. Gooley worked so hard, and he had blocked a shot earlier in that two-man power play. He got a good shot to the hip. You could tell he was in pain, but he had a great game. Gooley. The defense they all really played well tonight. Couple of I'd say Matheson coughed up the puck a few times, made some ill-advised passes. If you watch the game closely, not looking and trying to pass it across over, in front of the net area to the side a bit, but got caught a few times, and luckily we didn't get burnt. But that was probably, in that regard, the sloppy parts. He was probably the sloppiest that way. But a good effort. He came around as the game came on. He started getting back into his own his own way, and the rest of the defense played really well. Jack was putting on the body nicely on just about everybody that came in. It was, kind of an equally physical game. So with the rest of the stats, we'll give you 28 shots, 27 in favor of the Bruins. 14 hits for the Bruins, 27 by the Habs. And the Habs were hitting. Boy, oh boy, Pezzetta was laying on the body nicely. Very nicely. Even Slav laid the body on a few times. This was one of Slav's better games since the moving around the lines. And face-offs won. And so like I said, the hits were 27-14 for the Habs. It didn't seem that way, though. Although they were hitting quite a bit. Face-offs won 23-19 for the Habs. We were heading that department. Each team got a goal out of 4 power plays. And penalty minutes 8 apiece. Giveaways 15 by Boston, 22 by the Habs, just too much. And that's got to be brought down. Takeaways 5 by the Bruins, 8 by the Habs. That was nice to see. 17 to 18 block shots by the Habs. So we led in most departments, which is good to see. But anyway, very spirited game. Really, that old man line was very good. It has been, it really has been their most consistent line. Still, up until this point, it's been very consistent. It was nice to see Harvey Pinard injected into this game. Muchly needed source. I enjoyed seeing him play, and it was good. And so, it was the usual. The lines were juggled, but they kept Caulfield and Suzuki on separate lines again, and that seems to be panning out a bit. So, yeah, with Caulfield, with Dvorak and Slav, and Suzuki with Newhook and Anderson. They seem to work out well. Anderson had a strong game, very much so. He came so close a couple times, and he had such an opportunity. You can definitely tell. He's sent in and a clear break, and just couldn't put it home. Had great opportunities, and he's just definitely squeezing his stick too much. He's going to score, and I think it's going to come out. It's going to come soon. It's going to come out in big spurts. So very strong game. I got to say I was impressed with all of them. Tell you the truth, it was good that Armia wasn't there. I was glad to see that. Really, all the lines had a strong game. There's not. I can't really knock anybody tonight on the in the group. There was just a well put together team effort. Monahan just always gets stuff going, and like I say, Gooley once again. You can definitely tell he's all over the place. No doubt in my mind, he's their top defenseman. And like I said, Matheson was the kind of early going, sloppy, but got it back together and became much better as the game went on. But he's I find when he tries to go behind the net, chasing down somebody, that's where he gets beat all the time. So it seemed to be around the net area seems to be his weak point, defending it or catching somebody. So like I said, Montembeault. What could you say? I mean, the goal by Marchand, not a thing you could do there. That's just a nice pass through and off the skate and in. But that first one, I know there was a few people in front, but he should. I think it deflected off a Bruin in front, the guy who scored, and I still think Monty could have reacted to that. But either way, though, he still had an absolutely great game. I got to tip my hat off to Monty. He's starting to come back into his own, and that looks great. Looks like the Canadians goaltenders are stepping it up, and this is a much needed, like a big win in the sense we haven't beaten them in 10 tries. It's been a long time since we beat the Bruins. So this really meant something. And, like Gallagher's goal just really, I was so happy for him. It was a Gallagher type goal, and just the heart, the effort that was put into it. And Suzuki, like I said, I love that shot from the point, especially where it wasn't a slap shot. And I think that's what threw Swayman off was a wrist shot from that far back, but it was a good one. And then, of course, like I say, in the overtime, how fitting were Gould, just to see him be rewarded for his work ethics because he blocked a lot of shots there, and it was good to see. Um, just well done. Jack, I had a good game. Harris had a good game. Although I think there was a point in the game where I think he got a pass. I think it was from Suzuki, and if he would have had his stick down, he would have scored. It was right across to the front of the net, but he couldn't take it because he didn't have a stick down. So that's something he's going to have to get shown. Keep that stick down so he's ready to fire it. So, but they all had strong games. There were times the odd burns here. Barron got burnt a little bit, but played a good game. Overall, defense was great. Goaltending was great. They really played a smart game, and I love the challenge by Martin St. Louis with the interference that was on Monty. That would have been a different thing if he hadn't challenged it, and Boston would have came out on top. So smart move because it was clearly interference, and nice to see it go our way for once, finally. So with that being said, I am so impressed. It was a real exciting game. It kept you to your seats. This was a vintage type of game. Habs Bruins, close one. One goal difference in overtime. Uh, this is what you want to see always with the Habs and the Bruins. That Bruins team is a good team. They're a good veteran squad, and they haven't missed a step. Um, with the loss of Bergeron and Krejci. So they just really seem to. I don't know how they do it. They just gel well together and find the guys here and there. Great team to be playing. So it's a great, very, very excellent moral victory for the Habs, and good on them. Congratulations to our boys. Go Habs, go! And we're going to we got a game tomorrow night against Vancouver. So it's going to be interesting to see. And the trade talks are heating up, and Edmonton is definitely looking at Montreal from the rumors that came from Elliot Friedman. that it's just evident that Edmonton wants to be able to call a shot on what they get. And it's not going to work that way. They're either going to pay up if they want a goaltender, or they're not going to have a deal made because he's not an idiot. He's going to get something for whichever goaltender he gives out. But you can see that that's coming as this season goes on. But if he just keeps holding his ground, I think he'll do fine in it because they're the ones that need to do something, and they need to do it now. Because if Edmonton doesn't do it within the next week, they're in big trouble. Especially if they're not winning by then. They're not back, and it starts getting pretty crucial. We're getting close to December now, so they've got to make a move, and that's what we're going to have to rely on. And I think that's what Hughes is doing, is holding his ground. So with that being said, there's tons of rumors. I mean, I'm sure they're looking at Allen, uh, but we'll see what happens. Just as long as the Habs make sure that and there's been rumor of Draisaitl being moved. I can't see that from that end in a big trade because there's bigger problems than just the net. It's kind of everywhere. Defense, and that's the rumor. But I don't see how. I think they'd be out of their pick of mind. They're not in the situation of Toronto. That's only two big goal scorers with him and McDavid. So I don't think they're in the same class, and I think that needs to be kiboshed because I cannot see Draisaitl going unless he demands a trade. And although he may demand one if this continues, you never know. If they are out of a playoff spot. So that being said, great win by the Habs. Good to see it. We didn't expect this, and they're going to have 4 games this week. This is a busy week for them. Tough schedule, and then they face the Bruins the following weekend. I believe next Saturday. So you can be sure the Bruins are going to want revenge for this one. By the time and they got a quiet week, so they'll be well rested for us as well. But anyway, great game. Where's the puck drop first? Here at Center Hice. And please tell your friends and family about the channel. Leave your comments. Always interested in seeing what you thought. And just be respectful is all I ask. And we will catch you. Thank you for joining. Go Habs Go. And we will catch you after the next review, which will be tomorrow night after the Vancouver game. All right. Thank you. God bless.